Welcome to 50 Plus Home and Gardening. Today we're going to work in the Williamsburg garden, one of my favorite gardens. We put in all these bricks, pathways, everything, trees, shrubs, plants, everything in the Williamsburg garden just last year. It was just grass. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and then all of a sudden, bing! I always loved Williamsburg, and I always wanted to do something that had to do with Williamsburg. So want to make a few paths that kind of have that look. So one of my favorite gardens, I just want you guys to see how it looks in the summer, and let's just get started. All the gardens are full today. It's a nice, glorious, sunny day. Everything is just getting larger and blooming and just looking beautiful. Before we get to the beautiful Williamsburg garden, I just want to show you the overall beauty right now. That is just very pleasing. The red hot pokers are almost done, but they still look beautiful from a distance. All right, from this pump garden, looking at the Williamsburg garden right there, and this is the back of Williamsburg. I just want a panorama around to this area under a beautiful cherry tree that does not produce fruit. It's just for ornamental. But I just wanted to show you this. We planted this. These were some I'm not sure what they are because I just got them from the street side when we went on a trip. So they look like they're not going to live. And then I planted the loblolly pines in another video, and they look like they're thriving. Plus the zinnia seeds from last year's. These are my very own seeds from my very own zinnias last year, and I just threw out a bunch because I wasn't sure if it was going to bloom or what it was going to do. And look at it. Look, they're almost ready to bloom. So it wasn't a very good success. The ones that I got, they're probably white pine, but they didn't succeed. Not one of them looks very good, but my loblolly pines are still green and they look really good. I planted several of them just in case some died. So I've got here, 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 and there. Okay, so this way I only need one or two. So I think there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5. So 5 of them are really good, but look at the zinnias. Even in the sharp shade, which I do come out here and water sometimes. Look, there's a few zinnias right there, boom, boom. So, and one right there. So it goes right up to this juniper. The juniper just kind of lines this row. And just kind of look down. Ah, that's real country look. So I think these are going to get, well, they say less than 2 to 3 feet. So we'll see how they go. We'll see if I get tired of them flopping over. Right now, they're looking fun. All right, back up here at the house. Isn't this look pretty? Oh my goodness. Okay, like I said, the red hot pokers are almost done. And you have my pink dianthus that I did from seeds, if you remember. Look at these. They're just now all ready to bud and give little... Now these are larger than the regular dianthus that you're used to, that are close to the ground. These, I think they said they get 2 feet. Okay, that one's almost blooming, but look at their little plumes, buds. Look at their little flower plumes. That's so pretty. And there's one there and up here. This one's the farthest along, so let's just take a look at it because there are several in the Williamsburg garden and they haven't really bloomed yet. Look at that. So every one of these little fuzz balls, they're going to have a little flower, pink flower on them. So this is going to be really pretty. Because you're probably wondering why I put the dianthus in the back. You can't really see them with the pokers being so tall, but you can be able to see it if you go up up here on the hill. You can see there's the bench, and there's a nice tree, and a little fire pit right here. So looking good. Here's the Celebration maple. Blue Point juniper looking really good. Here's another one in here. And these are a bunch of mums, and I think there's mums right here. Different colors. When I get done with mums, I just plant them out here. They are going to spread. So you don't want a spreader. Mums are spreaders. There's a tomato plant. The veranda style, they stay small, but look at this. I wanted to show you this. So I planted a bunch of, I wanted it to have drifts, more drifts. Tomato, 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 all the way down. You see all the tomatoes because they were from seeds, and I just couldn't bear to throw them away. So I didn't know what to do with this area for right now. So I decided, since I didn't know what to do, let's just put a bunch of annuals. Tomatoes are annuals, and let them do their thing. I did get the seeds. There were thousands of them. They all bloomed. I mean, they all produced plants, and so I decided, let's just put them out. Also, I put out every other tomato. I put a sunflower. Now, they didn't all come out, as you can see. Like, there's only one on this one, two, but they came at different times. Like, there's a small one and a tall one on each one. It's kind of strange. So here's the small one, tall, and then this one only got one small one, and then a tall, small, tall, small. Very strange, but eventually they'll all catch up with each other, and they will peek up over my Williamsburg fence line. And look, they're just about ready to make, oh, look, this is good. This is a lightning bug. He eats bugs, but look, it's producing a flower. So we're going to get a head from each one of these sunflowers. And the tomatoes, my goodness, every one of them. They're loaded with tomatoes, little teeny cherry tomatoes, and that's good for salads, or you can whip them up and make a salsa. Look at them all. Look at all these. Oh my. But anyways, I'm really excited about these sunflowers. And I don't know, this is a very strange thing, but sunflowers, it's facing towards the east. And by the end of the day, they will face the west. They follow the sun with their faces. It's very strange. My husband didn't believe me when I said that, but look, they are facing the east. This is east, and they're all kind of facing that way, because he said, why are they all facing this way? It was when in the evening, and I said, because they follow the sun. So right now it's east. When it comes straight up, they'll go like this, and then they'll bend a little bit to the west. It's very, very fun to look at. They're like little happy faces going up and down. All right, this is the back side of Williamsburg. So I do want to address this someday. I want to fill this up with perennials, so I'm not replacing these over and over and over. Probably these long, tall tiger lily, 4 feet. I may put them in between each post and start from there. Maybe put some more other irises, maybe some phlox, and just anything I could think that would just fit in kind of a relaxed look. So I like this a lot. You can do that with divides from all your perennials, and you can make a whole bed. So right now, while I'm thinking, I just put, these are all annuals. Sunflowers are annuals. This sunflower is called Van Glow, and the tomatoes are all veranda. So this would be a drift, and it would also be annuals. In the south, we put out traps for June bugs. They come in June, of course, and they raise cane literally on your roses and other plants, and they just eat up things that they like. And so we try to trap as many as possible. But anyways, okay, and this is the other side of Williamsburg. So really nice. There's the pump garden down there. Really pretty today. Beautiful day. All right, this is where the gate will be when we get to that point. And I want to do it the Williamsburg way, the swinging door gate. In the summer times, things get a little bit lull and they kind of wind down just a bit because it gets hot, and they start kind of tidying up and maybe producing flowers or seeds or whatever. So I just want to show you some pretty things. Not everything is super developed in the Williamsburg garden at this point. Some things are coming up, some things are just producing, but I love the relaxed feel. It's a time where you can still snap a picture and get a feel of what you want to do in your garden. So let's kind of look at a few special things. I just want to show you this garden. This is really fun. I have a beet, which again, just so that I don't have to think of everything right away. This is marigolds, which is also an annual. So I have 3 marigolds. They are called Strawberry Blonde from Burpee, and not exactly the color I expected. Somehow I thought they were going to be a little bit more pastel. Some of them are, but there's a lot of just regular orange type marigolds like that one. Not as impressive as I expected. I like the liriope. Somebody chewed it up for a while, so it's not growing as well, but it'll still develop a little bit. If you see all these seeds, these are not weeds. These are pansy seeds that are developing into plants all over. And so if you don't want pansies, you're going to have to keep tidying them up so they won't produce seeds, but they produce a lot of seeds, and that's fine for me because then I'll have lots of pansies in the fall. If they can make it through the heat, they may just kind of die out. So I'm just kind of letting them do their thing, and we'll see what we have. All right, right here I have a Shasta daisy, and that will kind of fill in this area. I don't remember, I think it's called silver something. I'll put it on the screen. It is supposed to be smaller, like 10 inches, so it'll stay in its place. And you can divide these, so I'll have little Shasta daisies all over the place. So this bed just mirrors the other. You have the Shasta daisy, you have the Strawberry Blonde, 3, and liriope, and a few beets, and some dying back tete-a-tete daffodils, and they are very small. So I like what's going on right in the front, but remember, we're going to put one of our topiaries in the center on both sides, so that'll look really cool. All right, let's talk about this big triangle. This is kind of in the center. All right, in this pot I have a geranium, and he's just about ready to bud. So he's looking really good. But right next to it, I have a magnificent plant. This is called Twinkle Blue Balloon Flower. So the reason why they're called balloon, very interesting. If you get up really close, you see these? These are like little balloons. If I feel this is full of air, and they open up and they look like this. So I love it. It's very unique. See that? This is sort of a balloon kind of a thing. And they're all over. Look at all the buds all over this. So I'm liking that a lot, but I can see the height of this, and I think I'm going to want to bring this forward. And so next year, when I'm planning out my garden, I want to, again, snap pictures. And now behind this balloon plant, I have what looks like weeds, but there are more pansies that I'm just going to leave because you're going to get pansies in the fall, and I'm okay with that. So I reckon once you recognize the seeds of plants, then you can either decide, is this a weed or do you want to keep it? And then here is we grew this from seeds. This is more of the dianthus that we grew from seed. And so here's 2 more. Remember, I said these haven't developed like in the pump garden. And then here I have a really beautiful plant. It's called Sally Rose April Night Salvia from Monrovia. And look at the bees. They just think it's great. Now, I've already cut it back once. It was really bloomed a while ago, a little earlier in the spring. and it's now flushing back a whole nother one. So if you cut it back, you may get 2 or 3 blooms. I really like it. It stays sort of mounded, and I've got another one right there. This was really nice when it was really, really big in the spring, but you get another flush, and so you're still going to get color. And then back here, these are my divides from other irises. And so let's go on to this echinacea, or coneflowers. Look at these big coneflowers. All right, this first one is called Powwow White, and I'm going to have you look across the way because I tried to get them all to where you would mirror 1, 2, 3, but look how giant. I have never seen echinaceas get so big. I mean, they're up to my stomach. So they're very, very tall, not the usual type, but they're strong. So I'll water on top of them and they don't even faint or move to the side. So hopefully our rains will be able to handle that height. So let's stick with this Powwow White. They're very stately, very pretty. I like the way they have the blooms on the top. So when I'm walking down this lane, they hit me right in the face. I don't even have to bend down to look at these. That's how large they are. But as you can see, those balloon flowers and my dianthus are very low. So what I want is I think I'm going to put these in the back. So I will take a picture and make sure that that gets in the back. Maybe bring some of these irises towards the front. They don't look very big. All right, and then I have a Supertunia bubblegum, which is common, the Vista styles. It will fill in this whole area by the end of the summer. And a surprise, this lemon coral sedum did come back. It is zone 7, which I am zone 7A, and most of them did not come back, but this one did, so goody for it, and we'll see how it improves. I may put a little bit more mulch, knowing that it's kind of a delicate plant. All right, this one is called Soft Orange Echinacea, and it is more sized for the front of a garden. You can see that that's no more than 1.5 feet, maybe a foot. So that has really pretty flowers. I really like the size of that. I kind of wish these other ones were. That's okay. I'm going to change my design, and I'm going to put the bigger, taller ones that are, like I said, they're up to my stomach, and we're going to put them towards the back. They'll still look beautiful. Now, even though I have a white fence, it's okay. You'll still see the texture. I'm really looking at texture in Williamsburg Garden. And then look. There's the sunflower that's sticking right over the fence, and it'll have its little yellow face towards this area, so it's going to be really fun to look at. And then right above there, I have more of my dianthus. Those are called Sweet Pink Dianthus from Johnny Seeds. We did these from seeds. Okay, and there is another one of the salvia, another one of the balloon flowers. Isn't that pretty? So I really like that. Then if I keep going down my walk, I'm hit with very nice scent, and it'll be 15 feet, and it'll just kind of crawl all over my fence, which I think is a little bit romantic. I don't like a whole lot of stuff that's climbing all over, but a few climbing things is really pretty on a picket fence. Okay, you can see my aisle took me right to the Sensation honeysuckle, and I get to observe all of these. I like all these rows to meet some sort of flower or something of interest. So on this side I have just the same things. Now behind this area I just took out 1, 2, 3, 4 big, large parsley plants that were in its 2.5 year, and this was, you could hardly see this one, and as you can see how thin this is, and this will get fuller as it gets more sun, but it was so full, it was pretty much taking over the whole garden and getting really tall and seeding itself. So I just kind of took them out, so that's why this part is just completely empty. Okay, so we have some more echinacea, Powwow White, right in the back, as you can see, just barely. They're coming back. Remember, I just cut them back, so there's a flush there and a flush back there. This one is called Sally. This one's called Sally Rosa April Night Salvia from Monrovia. So I really like it, but it's a little less in the second blooming, but you're still gonna get some color. But look at this Veronica. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is called Sky Blue Moody Blues Speedwell. Speedwell's another Veronica name. Look at this, another place for the bees to just hover. And this is a more late bloomer. Like I said, this one's on its second bloom. So this salvia does a pretty early bloom. And then these are still rocking. And I like these because I think they may be a little bit sturdier. So I think I'm liking Veronica's a little bit more. I think I may want to put a little bit more. I like the structure, more upright, you know, like sticks, as opposed to the echinacea where it has more leaf form. And I love its color, very kind of a light and airy purple, and with the Supertunia on both sides. So I'm really loving this. Some good choices. I think I'm gonna back these up though too. The powwow whites, I'm gonna back them up where my parsley was, because they're pretty full and tall. All right, and behind this, I do have another dianthus. This is the sweet pink from the Johnny seeds that we did. And I'm just really impressed. I don't really do seeds too much, but when they are looking good and they're doing what they're supposed to do, that makes me super happy. Here's another one right here. So very, very thrilled. Okay, we're gonna take a look at these smaller, kind of towards the tree, the maple tree. But look at this. This is called a red creeping thyme. Now, I've never seen it bloom, but it blooms actually purple. So even though it's called red creeping thyme, it is getting nice sized, but it has purple plumes. So now sometimes they do that with red. Okay, nothing else is blooming. The John Creech is not blooming yet, and the Ajuga has already bloomed purple, really beautiful. And then we have some more of the Shasta Daisy, the same type. So that's looking fun. And that side mirrors this side, except I did add the Madam Butterfly Snapdragon, and I don't know what color it's going to be yet, but it is coming out from seed. And then a Liriope right next to that, more red thyme, and the lemon coral sedum that came back also. And of course the Ajuga is doing great. I think I'm going to be able to divide that I try to divide in the fall. So coming up here, everything is just really looking beautiful. The structure is coming along. I do have a few bricks that I need to fill in still. I'm still working on the area. It's sort of still under construction, but you know what? Gardens are always under construction, so I kind of always expect that I want to change my mind on something. And this is the reason why you see that hole, and you got that hole and that hole. So I'm thinking I need some square blocks, so I need to cut those, and I need to cut all these triangle blocks and keep any of these holes. I'm gonna make sure that I like the way the bricks are going before I really lay it down. So over here I've decided to make a square platform so I can look over the fence and see what's happening on the other side. This just mimics the same as we just saw. So we just talked about all these. I do kind of knot some of my daffodils so they're just out of the way. I leave them until they're completely dead and I just pull the whole thing off. So pretty easy. And that way my Liriope is not smothered while it's growing, and the John Creech and other things that are growing. And also look at this. This is another one of the Snapdragons, Madam Butterfly, just about ready to bud and open up. So this one's slightly larger. You never know how things go. There is another Strawberry Blonde right there. So everything's looking good. And just one more pansy that I just kind of left in. So an overall view of what I look at when I come up. I love looking at this garden. I love the bird bath in the back, and I love a little bit of something crawling on my fence line. I love the echinacea, and let's go back to this roses area. So we kind of went through the center of the garden, and this is where the large maple is growing. See that? really pretty. It's going to give me some shade, and that shade turns, like right now it's in the middle of the day, and in the evening it'll come over here. In the morning it's way down there. So everything gets a little bit of a break, especially in the center. And as it gets larger, I don't know what's going to happen, because I've seen some of the real Williamsburg gardens and their bricks are just kind of popped up because of the roots. So let's just see how long it lasts, and it's still really fun. All right, this is a romantic area with the bird bath, and first rose I have, and you know what? The scent out here is beautiful. Emily Bronte is the first rose we come up to. So like I said, I'm gonna fix this up, but then you can come right up to her and look. You can see all her beautiful, the scent on the Emily Bronte is wonderful. Some of these I have to pick back, but it has been a wonderful treat. And I have it right next to the bird bath. And then we come up here, and if you remember, we made this stained board because this is kind of up on a hill. So I like to have this as just a rose garden and a few other things that I can put in. So you first have the strawberry blondes from seed from Burpee, and I really like that. I have a pepper plant from Burpee. And I have, this is the sweet pink dianthus, which is going to give me pink while the roses are in a lull. They're actually in a lull right now. I think I'm not sure if it's going to be before or after this video, but they have already produced their blooms, and now we have a second bloom coming. Lots of blooms and buds all over this one, but you can, one plant, one flower is amazing how much scent it gives out. This is a large, wide one. This is the one called Princess Alexandra of Kent. Really, really nice. And then you have the Lark Ascending. Really pretty, but there's no buds right now. I mean, actually there's lots of buds, but it kind of already did a big bloom. And you can see some more buds here and there. And this is what we topiaried in another video. And then behind there you have the Madam Butterfly snapdragons, and I'm already getting one bloom. There she goes. Look at how pretty she is, Madam Butterfly. So I have 6 of those. And an airplane overhead. I hope you don't hear it too much. And then this is the Gabriel Oak, which just finished a nice blush. As you can see, a bunch of buds, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous plant, and it has a nice scent to it also. It also has a nice scent, but it's a little wider than it is tall, so you want to make sure that there's room. So I want to see this year in this bed how large these will get. Then I have, these pansies are still going, doing well. And there's a pepper plant growing in there in case those die out. You gotta always have food just waiting around the corner. All right, take a look over here, and this is the cistern, which is right next to this whole Williamsburg area. And this is where I sit a lot of times when I want to relax. This is a whole area, it's a kind of a working garden. And this is where I have basil, pepper, extra plants that I didn't know what to do. That's golden euonymus, and down there is the strawberry blonde marigold, and the blue point junipers, more peppers, got a lot of peppers. And this is, I think, a zinnia. So we'll see what color she is. And this is the topiary, blue point, and this is this sweet pink dianthus, as well as this, another pepper, and a snapdragon, the same, Madam Butterfly, and tons of strawberries. I think I have a Seascape. I've had these for 5 years. I brought these from another house and just put them in here. Some parsley that's bolting, and I think that's called Everbear, which is not as good. As you can see, it's kind of lighter on the game, and it just, I don't know, it just never did really well. And a head of another sunflower seed, and there's one there and one there. So kind of have them all over the place. And this is just a bunch of carrots. This is kind of my go-to. It's got a lot of herbs, fun things, rosemary, sage, and basil, lettuce, fun things, extra irises for next fall. I'm just keeping them. Looks like another zinnia, so hopefully it doesn't get too large. Then another marigold and chives. So this is kind of my fun working area. I really like coming out and enjoying just looking at everything. There's a topiary that we did. It doesn't take much. If you've got help, you can really get a Williamsburg garden done, and in a small way. This is like a room outside. I can walk barefooted. Well, maybe not in the middle of the day because it's kind of hot, but everywhere is a little sidewalk for me to walk, and a little secret path of shells. As you walk, you get to see just fun things on the path. Sometimes unexpected things. You'll have a bird, blooms in the roses. The scent is amazing with just one rose. So keep moving, keep gardening, and stay creative. And I'll see you next time.